can hold us.
Welcome back, everybody, to Seoul, South Korea, where we are casting the next matchup of tonight's LCK. Griffin up against KT. Should be a fun one to get into the second match here. First one, bit of a blowout. DAMWON able to crush Hanwha Life very quickly, 2-0. Not what we were expecting, and I'm sure a lot of people are expecting Griffin once again to show up big here tonight, Papa.
But in kind of interesting fashion, people who are in chat right now saying live or replay, saying you and I cast KT or Griffin, are actually pretty vindicated because this exact match happened 1 week ago today.
Yeah.
It ended up being a very one-sided victory for Griffin, and now we have an LCK Summer 2018 Finals rematch, back-to-back. Not a lot has changed for KT since that last loss. Seems like they still are in real struggle street, and Griffin, they start off the second round robin as unbelievable, overwhelming favorites for LCK Spring, but they don't win it till they win it, and they still have not won anything outside the Kesper Cup so far when it comes to that trophy case.
It's a long way away. I mean, we did just finish the first round as well of the LCK Spring 2019 with that first matchup that we did finish here tonight. We just begin the second round here, and they got 9 more matches to play.
Yep.
Before we do get to the playoffs. There's going to be, if they are in first place, which is most likely, they have that long time to wait before they do play in the spring finals. Should be fun, but we'll take a look at the standings here. Griffin in first place, currently undefeated in series, only the 1 game loss to Sandbox, sitting at 9-0 up against KT, who, unlike Afrika, still have yet to show us a big movement or anything in terms of movement upwards, as they do sit here at 2-7 in 8th place.
And we'll see if KT can find a way to just even get under the skin of Griffin. When it comes to a team that has lost 1 single game, it's all about just finding something, an early game lead, trying to find some notes from Hanwha Life and how close they were able to inflict some pain onto Griffin, because otherwise it's been plain sailing and then some for a team that looks uniquely dominant so far in the LCK. We're looking at some roster changes here as Justice will be joining the roster for Sandbox Gaming. Kanavi comes in as a very young jungle sub, unlikely to play any games. Be a very big surprise to see Tarzan out of the roster.
Yeah, you know, generally when you're playing behind one of the best players in the world, if not the best, it's hard to find time to play, but hey, Kabi got to show his stuff in the Kesper Cup, I believe that was, but either way, we'll take a look at some other big changes here. Flame, obviously a big one, moving in behind Nuggery for DAMWON Gaming. DAMWON Gaming crushed today, 2-0, so no sighting of him, at least in the lineup, but we did see him today.
We thought we'd see a lot of these new Afrika Freaks members after their struggles, but their 2-1 comeback win does mean that Brooks, Sun, Soul, and Sennen might actually be sitting out for a while. Wow, 3 S champions. They could actually have 4 S players playing at the same time in their real roles. Exactly.
Papa.
The S word, always one to give you pause. A lot of coaches there for Afrika Freaks. Flame coming in, of course, the biggest name players that come in, and it sounds like we'll also have some interviews. So a lot of things to talk about here, some video packages, all about the second half of the round robin, and hopefully get to listen to some of these new players, put out some fighting words for the second round robin.
Yeah, curious to see what they do have to say. And let's take a look at it now.
안녕하세요. 아프리카 프릭스의 원딜로 돌아오게 된 소울 서진솔입니다.
샌드박스 게이밍에 새로 합류하게 된 저스티스 임석준입니다. 반갑습니다.
테란의 뜻은 이제 순우리말로 늘 새로운 사람이 되라라는 뜻이고, 처음이라 떨리긴 하지만 잘할 자신이 있습니다.
썸머가 끝나고 휴식기를 가지다 보니 이거 복귀가 너무 하고 싶은 거예요. 이거 복귀 안 하면 큰일 날 것 같다.
이번에 되게 기대가 되고 제 능력을 보여주고 싶어요.
팀의 분위기는 재밌고 되게 활발한 것 같아요. 막내니까 전 챙김받는 걸 되게 좋아하거든요. 썬 형이랑 똘 형이 잘 챙겨줍니다.
네. 아직 세난 선수와 많이 호흡을 맞춰보지 않았지만 지금 저는 되게 좋다고 생각하고 있고 잘할 수 있을 것 같아요.
조커 형이 되게 듬직하고 든든하고 팀의 버팀목이 돼주시는 것 같아요.
기대되는 선수요. 하나비 선수.
이제 솔로 랭크에서 카나비 선수를 많이 만났었는데
언제나 솔로 랭크 최상위권에 있는 선수들은 느낌을 좀 보여주기 때문에 기대가 되는 선수입니다.
안녕하세요. 전 그리핀 정글로로 새로 오게 된 가나비 서진혁입니다. 제가 시즌 8 때 첫 솔로랭크 챌린저를 찍었는데 그때 딱 그리핀에서 기회가 돼서 테스트 보고 들어간 것 같아요. 1등 팀에 들어온 만큼 부담감이 크고 많이 긴장이 됩니다.
저를 아직 기억하시는 분들이 있을지 모르겠지만 다시 돌아오게 됐고요. 이번에 담원 게이밍에서 새롭게 합류하게 된 탑라이너 플레이 묘종이라고 합니다. 반갑습니다. 그때까지 계속 LCK 받고 한 LCK 한 2, 3년 전부터 계속 다시 오고 싶었어요. 이제 선수 진들도 좋고 분위기도 좋고 그리고 코치님 분들과 얘기를 나눠봤을 때 되게 좋겠구나라는 생각이 들어서 어렵게 결정한 만큼 꼭 좋은 모습 보여드리고 싶어요. 제가 좀 나이도 많고 연차도 오래 해서 좀 어려울 수도 있는데 무서운 사람 아니니까 편하게 대해주세요. 저한테 욕만 안 하면 돼요.
신인이다 보니까 아직 부족한 건 많겠지만 부담감을 이겨내고 더 노력해서 팀이 좋은 성적 얻을 수 있게
최대한 빨리 적응하고 연습해서 좋은 모습 보여드리도록 하겠습니다. 담원 게이밍 화이팅!
아프리카 프리스트 파이팅!
그리핀 화이팅!
저스티스 화이팅!
Well, interesting one there. Gotta love Justice giving us a little fist pump there. But good to have all these new players coming back. Also interesting to hear about Kanavi on the solo queue rankings. Apparently hit Challenger for the first time in Season 8. And now all these players are talking about him in Season 9. Immediately jumps onto Griffin rosters. Can't wait to see what he has to offer.
Another one of these young guns, very, very young player, 17 years of age, as far as I know. And yes, the reason why they're talking about Kanavi rather than one of the other players when they were talking about players they're fearful of is not just because Griffin is playing here, but it's because Kanavi and also Cavi were top 5 in solo queue when the new ranking system came out in Season 9. Currently ranked 21. Very interesting note for a future game is that Soul right now, actually, Afrika's sub-80 carry is ranked 3, so with the ranking system in a weird spot is notable. Anyway, zooming in on this rematch here, they just played so recently that KT Rolster will have to show us something so new. But the 2-0 was pretty resounding. Swords Fiora took down Smeb's Yorick, and we had 2 games of Yasuo bot lane for KT.
I love the little footnote there. Meme of KT's StarCraft player Yellow. It's a guy that always was getting second place over and over and over again. So under the 2's protection, round 2 on the 22nd of February. That's today. We'll see if that works out for them. Although the first time, as you mentioned, was a bit of a landslide, as has been most of the series up against Griffin. But it just feels like one of these days something's gonna slip. You know, can they really go 18-0? But then again, is today the day where something slips? Is today the day where Griffin take a back seat? KT Rolster at 8th place, come up and slap him around? I'm not convinced just yet, but I'd like to be convinced otherwise.
KT have died 201 more times as a team than Griffin. That's why you went to that high octave on the laugh, because it's genuine. There's a lot for KT to improve on, and Griffin, only thing to improve on is don't lose any games. It's like the most inane thing to say, but they are the closest to perfection. They have the best round robin of any team ever. 1996 DPM. Very nice to see. Now look at the replays here.
Ooh.
This is Smabu. You know what? Was able to get something going against Khan, but was that Khan's mistakes or Smeb's good plays? Of course, if you're a KT fan, you might be more on one side than the other, but definitely was some nice flanks, even though they weren't quite able to win game number 1 of the Telecom War.
Yeah, I mean, his Vladimir play was better than some of the other games we have been seeing from him for sure. A little bit of a chance, you know, given by Khan to help him out and get him started here on the Vladimir for sure, but he is definitely one guy of importance that needs to perform for KT. You know, he has been having a rough time, and he is a leader on this lineup, and if he's not the one trying to carry his team, then who's it going to be? Is it going to be BDD due to the roster? He's been trying, but he can't do it alone.
Spoilers, Smeb will be playing today. We get the rest of the confirmation soon, but the moment we have a match point about Smeb, we would hope that Smeb was playing. No Kingen to be cited today. Go to the side of Griffin, who cemented that 9-0 start to the season, taking down Gen G and hardly breaking a sweat doing it.
Yeah, well, you know, it's feels pretty good. Viper, pretty clean on this one. Dodges everything, and Tarzan is right there to help him out. The kick, not enough damage, and well.
Only sadness is they haven't need to show new things, Valdez. We started the season like, ooh, Ornn, ooh, Elise, but since then it's been a lot more standard choices. I want to see some new stuff. Maybe a new champion that's being seen in other teams. I want to see Chovy's Yasuo, because even last year, Chovy was one of our super talented Yasuo players, and more Yasuo the better in competitive play.
You mean you're not excited for Viper to play Teemo again?
No.
I feel like maybe one of these days we'll have that re-emerge, but we take a look at a key player comparison here. Sword actually first in KDA. I mean, you could say that about probably everybody on the side of Griffin, but a lot of lower other numbers, whereas Smeb is actually up there in some of the other numbers, at least in the middle end. Once again, he's got to be one player that performs for this team.
Very significant stat that actually should be bolded is the kill participation. Sword has 48% kill participation as a player who usually plays Sion or Urgot. What does it mean, Valdez? It means they don't need team fights to win, and we know that the dirtiest team fighters in the game are the best at team fighting, and yet 48% kill participation says that by the time the team fights are all around, the game's basically done already.
So it's going to be up to KT to put a stop to that madness and try to get in there early. Taking a look at KT's lineup here, it's the one that you have become accustomed to in recent times. Umti still in the jungle, Smeb maintaining his spot in the top lane, and Zenit and Snowflower alongside BDD, who's the obvious one, retaining their spots here in the starting roster.
But where is that milk carton picture of Kodong Bin, the real name of Score, the jungler of KT Rolster? No sightings of Score in a really long time. Legendary jungler, the best in the world, or top 3 jungle for multiple years, and yet come 2019, we are seeing very little of Score.
Yeah, definitely a little bit disappointing, but at least Umti gets a chance. You know, we were saying, how much of a chance is he going to get in 2019 if Score is only going to be here for this year? Well, he's had more of a chance for sure. This is Griffin. Of course, you guys should know their lineup. They don't really play anyone else, and they have no real reason to. Sitting at 9-0, Griffin undefeated in series, looking for another win tonight.
Griffin seem to be able to draft scaling, to draft early game. Their game 2s are often really, really inspired League of Legends where they run over their opposition. Game 1, they can be a little slow starters. They can give you some chances, but seizing chances against Griffin has eluded so many other teams. Look at this new AR we have here. That looks cool. Nicely done here.
Very bouncy and exciting.
We're getting better every split, every round robin here. The Riot LCK broadcast, Smeb, Umti, BDD, Zenit, and Snowflower to confirm. Score is not played since KT versus Jinair, a 2-0 victory on the 25th of January, a day before my birthday, almost a calendar month ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. We're missing him, but KT Rolster have to make it work with Umti in the lineup, and Umti has to gain that confidence if he's going to continue playing. He's going to be up against the best jungler that we do have here in the LCK. I feel very comfortable to say that now, especially with Score taking a bit of a back seat alongside a bunch of other guys that are looking to maintain that first in their role kind of status here on the side of Griffin.
It's usually pretty lazy analysis to just say the winning team that's 9-0 has the best top jungle, mid, 80 carry, and support, but, you know, every time they get out there,
It's-
it gets more and more difficult to evaluate,
Yeah.
and people have had a lot to say about Sword as the weak link here, and I think he definitely has an easier job because he's not going to get target banned. You have to target ban everyone else, but at some point, if you keep winning, those questions become more and more murky to deal with. Griffin are pretty damn good at League of Legends, and anything other than a 2-0 dominating Griffin win would actually be a big vote of confidence for KT bailing out of what was a very difficult start to LCK Spring.
That is quite true. Even a win would feel great for KT. Sandbox is the only team to take a one-game win up against this team. If it were me, I'd be banning out Chovy, but that's just me. I feel like Tarzan can play pretty much anything, and Viper is the same. Lahens has proven that as well. And as you said, you don't really want to ban out Sword here, but they do go ahead and ban out to your list to start off Thresh, known as pretty much the strongest support right now.
Remember, there's another way you can do it. You can come in with a strat you're really confident on and ban the champions that work against the strat, because usually you want to ban against the enemy team, but if you can't, then maybe you should ban towards your strategy. We can't know that till later. Now KT have to ban Ezreal on blue side. I guess they don't want to first pick it, and Zenit, to his credit, has largely been finding wins on non-AD carries. So banning away the Ezreal makes some sense. Lahens and the Frostmancy that Griffin have done, or the double Relic Shield, has propelled himself to some pretty high gold Galio support builds, so they're going to take a Galio ban as well. A lot left open that could be considered the Yasuo first picked in this series 1 week ago. Let's wait and see what Griffin want to consider with their final ban.
A Gragas ban, which is quite interesting. It's another one of those supports that can be put alongside the Yasuo in the bot lane.
Hey.
And okay, BDD saying, give me the reins, I'll do the carrying.
And what do you pick into LeBlanc is a frequent question in solo queue and also in pro play. Very dominant mid laner, but no flex about this. We're 9.3. Some of the flexes are gone. Therefore, first pick LeBlanc over Urgot, over Yasuo, over a lot of picks that people would consider. We'll see what the lock-ins will be from Griffin. Seems like they're going to claim a flex pick of theirs in Vladimir and potentially an entire bot lane with the Vladimir Shen that isn't always something I'm a big fan of, but certainly scales into big-time relevance.
Yeah, and it also is League of Shen that he does love his Shen. Could be bringing it out here. That does leave the Alistar available if you're talking about other supports that love to knock stuff up and play alongside Yasuo. Alistar is the obvious one. They don't ban that one. They want to take away the jungle of the Gragas potentially as well from Umti.
Don't know about you, but in some drafts, I'm kind of rocking up back and forward thinking, okay, we're going to see the pick, and you see LeBlanc, and you think about things that can work into LeBlanc, and you say the word Zed, and you wonder if Chovy would give us his first Zed. That would be a
You're
really
going to
hype
keep the
win.
whole chat awake right now.
I'm keeping them
Or
away
you're
from
putting
bed.
them to sleep if it doesn't get
Well, you
if
know.
it doesn't get picked here.
When Nuke Duck played it over in LEC, that means it's competitive play ready as far as I'm aware. We're going to see potentially a jungle. Aatrox be picked up here, at least the Aatrox taken as potential flex. This would be the matchup we saw in the previous game that usually in the LCK has been very LeBlanc favored, and it turns out that in the first round, you can head to bed.
All right, guys, that's it. Head to bed. You can go take your nap. As yeah, Zoe versus LeBlanc coming in here. Lots of flexing still left available for both of these teams, at least with the Vlad and the Aatrox here. So definitely some stuff to take note of as we do move into second bans. Kalista going to be denied here alongside of that Alistar.
They seem to be wanting to make Alistar very accountable, because at this point, when we saw the Alistar not picked up, you knew KT would take it, because it does, again, play into a potential Yasuo bot lane if they want it. And now you're taking away Kalista to give Alistar kind of that free laning phase, where after 6, Fate's Call means you can go in with Reckless Abandon. As Snowflower, traditionally a playmaker, and get away with it. Double 80 carry ban here, as a scaling choice of their own is going to be denied. Let's see how Griffin are going to approach bot laners right now. You increasingly think it might actually be just this Vladimir Shen duo.
Yeah. The Sivir would have felt fantastic alongside of everything else on the side of KT, especially the Aatrox that needs that extra speed up, that just want to dive into that backline and go head forward, head first into the play.
You would assume that Tarzan must have been playing a lot of Kindred in offstage matches, because it's a pick that has actually never worked for him in pro play. It's not necessarily one that I would own as a Tarzan pick in the past. This, of course, would be right in that wheelhouse. And they're going to roll with what Hanwha Life couldn't put together, the Shen and Nocturne synergy, in order to look for reliable picks and build full damage and have that overshield with the Stand United.
Kaisa nearly immediately picked by the side of KT alongside of Urgot, so that does confirm the Aatrox into the jungle. And a very strong lineup, actually. I feel like drafted here from the side of KT. We'll see if they can read into that Nocturne play and try to shut that down as well.
So Smeb got away with Vlad into Urgot, but was that more about the misplays than the plays? It seems like the thought here from Griffin is yes, because they're going to take Yorick Mari into Urgot in the top matchup that we had on the weekend, last weekend, in a matchup where Urgot is going to be under the microscope here. Urgot is very, very reliable. We know what he does, but Yorick Mari can be really overwhelmingly annoying in this lane, and it can certainly snowball one way or the other, where both of them might have trouble just entering lane against the opposition.
That'll be an interesting one here. Umti going to play something that Tarzan debuted in Korean competitive play with that Aatrox into the jungle, whereas Tarzan gonna show us how Bono should have done it and how Hanwha Life should have done it in game number 2 of the previous series that we did just cast about an hour and a half ago now. It was a while ago now.
There was that extended break. We take a slight pause so the coaches here can shake their hands. Want to make sure that's all in the books. No excuse, the summoner name there for the KT coach, and it's just such a weird quirk of the system to have a rematch 1 week after the first round robin. Same teams, once again, this LCK summer rematch. Doesn't feel like it's going to be that epic duo of series to complement what was an amazing 5-game best of 5 for the LCK Summer Final, just because KT are in such a different spot ladder-wise, but the ladder doesn't always matter. KT showed that against SKT in what was a very competitive series. In this game 1, you already talked about the tier list champions. There are definitely some picks that could hold value. And if you get Yorick far enough behind, there's a possibility that you get blown up by both opposition, Urgot and LeBlanc, and snowballed through. But because it's Griffin, because the nameplates are on, it's very hard to tip that to happen.
It is as well, and Toby once again will have his hand on the Zoe for game number 1 of match 46, our first matchup of round number 2, KT versus Griffin. Some big cheers from both sides here in the LCK arena as Griffin not messing around here at level 1.
Friday night, 8 p.m.
Smeb.
Face check.
Don't do it to the KT fans. Oh, you did it. Well, see you later. Face checks the brush, and Griffin seem like mind readers once again as they catch a very sad Smeb Urgot.
Oh, great. Vladimir got the kill. That's a bad sign. He's now...
Oh, he's got a Dark Seal. Great.
Ruby Crystal, and he had 2 stacks. You are just hooting and
why
hollering
it's so
today about
funny to
this.
me. I don't know why. It's just like literally the worst thing that could have happened to start this for KT.
I guess if he'd started Dark Seal and not bought his pot yet, he could have had 550 gold to spend, and that might have been even more annoying. Because 350 gold for Dark Seal.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, we're right up there in terms of bad feels with obvious gold spent at level 1. And that means that Vladimir and Shen, they don't necessarily have a lot of experience advantage. That's not how it works anymore in League of Legends. But they've definitely got a tempo advantage. And some of those Q trades are going to hurt just a little bit more than they should.
That they will. They get that Vlad just a little bit farther ahead.
Wait, what happened on the bot side? Thank you for this replay, by the way. Let's find out.
He saw the Yorick.
So it's all about the vision here. The fact that Yorick was seen on the bot side. I guess that is what gave impetus here. So this is actually an excellent replay. It looks like a replay that doesn't mean anything, but they're telling a story. What they're telling is the Yorick is sighted, so of course invade for counter vision, right? What happens when you get invaded on?
Yeah.
You invade the other quadrant of the jungle. Smeb gets the call. The call was wrong.
It's kind of like little plays like that. You can see the thumbs up from CV Max too, as it seems like that was definitely a set play. They're like, okay, we can do this, show the Yorick, bait the top laner into checking, and, well, gives the big thumbs up as if they needed to use the special cheese play.
That's the weird thing,
up
right?
against KT in this game when they're 9-0.
That's the part that was dawning on me as you said it, is like, Holy crap, that is 200 IQ.
Yeah.
Save that play. Don't let it be shown. This is why CV Max is like, broadcast team, what's up with this replay? That's a better replay than you pulled all season.
Yeah, I know. Is there a bit of bias towards us? You trying to get us our first loss?
I mean, in the spirit of competition, probably,
Yes.
right?
I'm sure Riot would love it if Griffin, you know, wouldn't just win every single game. Although there is the tipping point where eventually you're like, well, we want this narrative to play out, right? We want this 18-0 team.
I think it was a really good discussion of this. If you saw, I don't know if you saw this one, about some of our fans would have seen the interview with Dracos talking about, you know, G2 and their dominance and potentially playing Shaco mid and how they should interpret a team that just looks wantonly dominant in the league. And, you know, we have that. We have Griffin in our league who's very similar in just what they've been able to pull off. And there's always a lot of different ways to look at it, because I know I would love more candidates for a, on paper, amazing 3-game series for Griffin versus a team. And that's the ideal.
Yeah.
But there's also, when a team is playing at this level and there's replays like that that show kind of the next level things they're doing, as Chovy does take quite a lot of damage from BDD in a tricky matchup, you can also just sit back and learn something about the game and appreciate the nuances of what allows Griffin to stay ahead. Because it's not just, wow, these guys click their buttons well. They also out-macro you in little ways like that that can get you similar leads.
Sometimes all it takes is one kill to really sway a lane in one direction. I mean, thankfully, at least for KT, it's not like the kill we had in the first series of DAMWON versus Life, where it's LeBlanc and Lee Sin. They just shut down the Syndra, and she's essentially useless for the majority of the game afterwards. But sometimes it's all it takes. One mistake, as we haven't engaged down on the bottom side. Lahens, he's ignited. He's going to taunt away, though. One last stun. He's going to be able to flash away, though. The empowered Q by Viper, trying to do enough damage to Snowflower. Not quite enough, as a very extended trade ends up being actually even towards the end.
No item lead for Lahens. Doesn't have a Ruby Crystal. For that to be a bad calculation, just such on a sliver. With the extra shield coming from the passive. Omti's here. Not level 6, of course, so can't go for an insane turret dive. Puts down the deep vision, and it does spot Tarzan.
Spots him here, in position, just running straight at Omti, actually. Is going to take a hefty amount of damage on his way out, and won't be taking any fights there. But you can see also just the sustain of the Vlad is going to be feeling a bit better, as he does have the pot, and no pots left on the side of Snowflower and Zenith, so they're going to have to go for that first back.
Sustain advantage can be relevant. There's no charges of the refillable either for the Vladimir, but like you mentioned, does have on command healing. Exhaust, Thrift Shop to put down just to allow Chovy to stay in lane. No backs yet for either mid laner, but you're seeing what we didn't see as cleanly in game number 2 of the last series. There is a meaningful CS lead for the LeBlanc. Does help that because there's a Nocturne side of Griffin, there is a lead also in terms of jungle presence in the early game that forces Chovy to play on the back foot. Snowflower took a whole lot of damage freezing this wave.
He's low. Went down to 95, it looked like there. But he did have vision of the Shen and moved far enough up to see also Viper, so wasn't too worried about that, but he's going to have to go for a back. We got this Infernal first, too, which could make some action happen early on in this game.
Should be something that KT are thinking about, finding a way to start. They should be communicating back times and trying to play around that objective, because it's one that they have the invitation to, given that Tarzan is on this Nocturne. The solo lanes are in a really good spot for KT as well. Should be first rotation from mid lane from BDD. So for now, at least, it's another one of those early games, another one of those game ones where KT are in no bad position 6 minutes in.
So he picks up another exhaust here. Always pretty nice. The second the LeBlanc hops forward, you can lay that down, try to land a sleep trouble bubble, something like that, if the LeBlanc is not in his timing.
Very interesting first buy from Zenith. Look at this. He bought boots and also started to work towards a Bilgewater onto way to a Blade the Ruined King. The boots purchase, the surprising one to me. Not always something you're going to get this early into the laning phase. Might have just been a quirk of a, I guess, 1,200 gold value back, but either the back timing or the item purchased here, I do find surprising. Can chase for some of those extra autos onto the Vladimir potentially.
Yeah. Toby taking a lot of damage, but Tarzan is nearby. You have to wonder whether that was a bait or just a nice little trade there from BDD. As he ends up picking up Redemption.
Level 6 on both
Very nice.
junglers. They know they're here.
Tarzan gonna spot him out, puts down a ward. But you can see lots of pressure already by the side of KT around that Infernal Drake. And even around this blue.
It's around the side of the map where they should be stronger at this point in the game, so you understand the invades. Hence not level 6 yet to instantly respond. So right now we are zooming out to see the bot lane positioning. KT have first response to this, and Tarzan's just happy for it to release.
Oh, bottom lane. Even play comes down. But, well, actually no. None of the action does end up unfolding here, as the trade will be important. A lot of mana gone and a bunch of health as well, as Umti is continuing to push in here.
LeBlanc shows back in mid lane. Remember, Lehens has ultimate to move over, so Tarzan doesn't have to give this up. It's reset once.
Okay, in comes the fear, but Tarzan takes a hefty amount of damage. Even a swing by the blue buff, that gets him insanely low. We'll have to rethink how long he stays around here, but you can see he's even considering going down to the bottom side as low members of KT remain there.
Do notice he has no other camps to go to. Only now the wolves respawn, so this is the best use of his time. Waiting to combo with Griffin. Lehens walks up. Gonna claim this blue. You'd have to assume Umti gets it finally.
Plant used here. Red buff gone on Tarzan immediately, and it seems like just the win will go the way of KT as he is able to snatch away the blue buff from the side of Griffin.
And already, even though this is a micro victory, you say, okay, got pressure in the mid lane, pressure in the bot lane, and you stole an objective. Is it the Infernal you wanted to sneak? No. But it's something. And micro wins against a team that has only lost a single best of one. Speaking of that team.
Okay, going in with the paranoia here. Has that submarine send coming in. But the ultimate is proc. The World Ender. The question is, can he get away? Waits to flash afterwards, and he will, in fact, get away here. Snowflower in position to help out just in case. But they don't need him. The paranoia just traded for that flash.
Flash timing there, good from Umti. If he flashes any earlier, there's a real chance it doesn't do anything. Waits to ensure no trouble bubble was going to hit him to signal his death after the passive as he died.
Oh, no.
He died.
The wolf.
Oh my god, the big wolf! It's the big
Wolf.
bad wolf!
He returned!
He's back!
He's back in LCK!
Wait.
He eliminates him. One kill to wolf.
Has anyone died to the wolves since, was it Dyrus on Jungle GP? Because it's usually the Krugs that get the kills.
Yeah,
Peanut died
I
to the
mean-
Krug camp, you remember, at Kesper Cup
Yeah.
in 2017. The big bad wolf did it!
He actually did it. Welcome back. Get an extra
Can we get a
kill on the
replay
board
on that
here.
one, observers? Did we get that one? Did we catch it on camera?
Oh boy. And you know, that's just that's really annoying for MT, who that's more of a tilter more than anything.
No, don't worry, it was in a Warrior Enchant shopping time.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, we do get. Wait,
I thought we were gonna get the replay.
I think we
Trying.
might. I really hope we do. I know this is what was supposed to be the action. We can compliment Umti here. His flash timing is good. Flash actually doesn't do anything until he uses it, so well done there. Are we going to track him? Here he goes. So he enters at 100 and what? 8 health? 108 health for this play. Tries
Gotta
to
love
leave.
the replay
He misses
here.
his W, just to note. Let's watch this fight. This is actually the battle. Wait, he had 100.
How does he
health.
lose this?
How does he die? Wolf is doing like 40 damage each.
Oh.
Wolf threads this one in. Umti now realizes he's in a bit of trouble. In midair comes in. There it is! He finds the weak spot of Umti and
The
takes
Wolf
him down.
wins! And you know what? Tarzan gets the Infernal Drake, which, you know, a jungler dies and loses a bunch of time on the map. Who knows? Maybe he would have been there on time to stop the Infernal.
Is it possible that there's a weak spot, like a sweet spot for the Wolf like there is for Aatrox when he's battling Aatrox? I mean, it's possible, right?
I mean, he kind of just bit him in the face, right?
Well, Wolf-
showing his weak spot on cameras. Thank you, observers.
We thought the big bad wolf was sent to Turkey. No. He's back in the LCK.
Yeah.
We also lost a wolf. Wolf Schroeder over in the Overwatch League. Hello to you.
Sent us, you know, nice little message after that one. So
What do you think the message means, Valdez?
the message.
Yeah, what does it mean? It's a coded message. He's a Griffin fan.
He is. Well, can't blame him. As,
BDD could be in trouble here.
As Umti, he's mad. He's got a level on Tarzan too. He wants that damage.
Griffin have a kill. Kill was the Vladimir at level 1. Of course, executes don't count. The Wolf here, 1-0 and 0. Might have to name it. I know LS has names for the A and B side.
Yeah, Agatha and Bertha.
Yes, exactly. For the Gromps.
I got them, memorized just in case he's coaching.
Can he be Aaron the Wolf? Aaron can be an A side
like
wolf.
Aaron.
Alright. Well, Aaron, very bloodthirsty in this game. Toby walking up. We saw he got a very nice trade onto BD's bot lane.
Viper, he's angry, getting on in there. Huge shield comes in for Zenit, including the magic shield. Looks like he picked that up, and he will survive.
So he was looking for summoners there. He noticed that he was able, with his early lead, to get a lot of items for 13 minutes in. Gold lead and Infernal. He was looking for a flash. Doesn't find one. As here's ulti.
Yeah, face checking that one, but the W will sail wide as the pool will be able to dodge it.
Amazing how much of the action was in a replay. But we're back on the Rift. Do you know if there's a different chime when you have this Yorick Mori skin and you pop your ult? Because the cool thing about Yorick is, I found out playing Yorick, is that there's this really cool tune when you pop out the Maiden. When you pop out the Maiden, there's this kind of like beautiful chime that plays. I wonder if there's a hard rocking chime with the pentakill Yorick. There should be. Free ideas.
You would assume so, right? I'm always a fan of new stuff in skins like music and interesting little tidbits for sure. So, would like that as well. See Proto Belt finish here for Viper. He just gets to be annoying. Up against Zenit, who does have a decent amount of sustain himself with the Blade of the Rune King finished here.
Vlad's level 9, close to 45% CDR. I think he's around 41% or 39%. Because you're taking these scaling 1 to 10% in the top tree of the stats, and you also have Transcendence, which will be live soon. Actually, no, I'll tell you a lie. I'll have Transcendence very soon, but it's level 9, not level 10. So we'll be very close to 45% CDR when he gets that level up. Regardless, gonna be obviously super annoying with the stain. Huge information lead here for Tarzan. He's got a ward, and he doesn't know.
Well, that was a visual bug, not just pretending to face check as the fight will begin in the bottom side, actually. Paranoia, though, going into that backline. Kai'Sa in a lot of trouble, is going to try to ult away. They both flash away the double swipe! Right in the face of Alistair and the Kai'Sa. But can Sveb turn it around here? The fear beyond death, but he's all alone. As what is going on here? Griffin trying to take as many members of KT away as it's just the remnants of a dead fight on the side of KT. Looks like 4 kills, maybe 3 of them do go the way of Griffin in that fight.
The vision lead there was the big reason they got that lead, similarly to how they got a lead at level 1. And you know somewhere Vedius' mouth is still agape. The Nocturne passive got a double kill instantly.
It's the dream, right? You got them both in front of you. They both have so little health.
But what are the chances your passive is back up as well?
I know.
We're going to watch the replay here.
The timing.
You know, some people, they have different things that get them going. This for sure is Vedius' dream. We're watching the replay. Remember the summoners are still up. They were trying to be blown earlier, and here it is. Oh, man. Plus 600
Thank you for that sound effect as well, Papa.
We were all thinking it. Not often that an Urgot actually gets to kill a Vladimir, given that Vladimir's pull gets him away from the fear beyond death. He's chased down, though, the death not in vain.
Tarzan, 3 kills picked up on that little turnaround. He's feeling pretty good about himself right now. Picks up a BF sword already as that GA is going to be really quickly down the pipeline here for this Nocturne.
You know, I kind of wish he flexed and built an Infinity Edge. He's already got the stopwatch, right?
Yeah, come on. Just do it one time.
Less troll than on the previous patch, much more viable now, of course.
Yeah.
Viper and Lahens, they got the turret first as Shen and Vladimir. That tells you how this game is going. This duo lane not known for their laning potency, but they got the early lead, they got the kills, and now the Nocturne super fed and Sword and the Maiden taking down the Infernal with his girlfriend. A happy Friday night date for the Yorick.
Why not? You're eating well. That's a whole dragon for you, the wife, and all the kids.
I don't know if they're married yet, so you shouldn't assume.
Well, okay.
But the kids are still around.
The maiden and the 3 kids that are just there.
It's 2019. People live progressive lifestyles now.
Sure, sure.
Griffin going to take both objectives. Oh, that feels terrible. This game's already a little bit silly, Valdez. They just got Infernal and the Rift Herald as Vladimir is out of lane first.
And the Mountain, you know. Don't forget about that. They don't have an AD carry, and their Siege is basically Zoe. So that's going to be a fantastic Drake for them.
KT, they really have very little agency on this game right now. The Rift Herald will force them to move. The sheer amount of damage already on the Vladimir no doubt can force them to move. LeBlanc has been wailing away and having a good laning phase against the Zoe, but increasingly that means very little. Yorick and his girlfriend are back bot lane, and no one wants to enter that lane. LeBlanc's going to try, but it's after the turret is dead.
Yeah, Smeb's up towards the mid lane, as it seems like there was just a kind of missed timing there, as someone should have been there to at least kill the minions and stop the push, but just a bunch of extra gold go the way of Sword and Griffin.
Are we really full zooming on cool back animations?
What a play. Yeah, well.
What's your take on Vladimir skins? What's your favorite one?
You know what? It's hard for me because I don't remember all the names, and
that's okay.
The Korean
Describe
client,
them.
It's just like
what does it look like?
The one that's farthest to the end, you know, I always assume is the coolest, but I don't play enough Vladimir to really, you know, experiment with all the different skins.
I was always a huge fan of the Marquee Vladimir, the one that's very Castlevania inspired with the blue coat. Mostly because from release, it's always seemed really small, so it feels like invisible power. We had DAMWON
Smaller
Gaming.
hitbox, right?
We had DAMWON Gaming talking about invisible power with their special meds to get better in the game. And
yeah, well,
what's wrong with some Marquee Vladimir, right? We did actually get an update
Sure.
on that. They're talking about traditional Korean medicine,
Oh, so
like
I was-
ginseng and
yeah,
things like
actually-
that. We should mention that out loud, otherwise
Yeah.
it comes across
They're
as a
not
bit dodgy.
actually, you know,
As far as we know,
popping
no.
some, you know, well,
No pills being popped.
maybe some secret information there, given that way. I feel like that legendary skin for Vlad is one of the ones that was done pretty well.
So the Bloodlord one was always big because the animations were cleaner, so actually last hitting was a lot easier on that skin. That's one of the kind of edge cases where it always feels weird to evaluate, because yes, it's not invisible power, but especially if you're not a good player like you and I, it is very valuable to have the last hitting skill. Look, we're Wood 5.
Why do you gotta
We've
include me?
confirmed we're Wood 5. Are you going to say Wood 5 is good now?
I mean, it can be interpreted as good. We're good at something, which is losing. And,
It's true. We're consistent also.
Yeah, exactly.
Kinda
That's
like-
something we ask of many of our pro players.
Are we the Jynner of solo queue?
Well,
We're not the Griffin, that's for sure.
yeah. We don't play enough Annie. I'm sure LS would be very angry.
So I was on a 7-game losing streak in solo queue recently. You can confirm it. It's out there.
Yeah.
My account's Papa Smithy. I snapped it with a Annie support game. So,
There you go.
you know, it's a pick I enjoyed too, but LS made it famous. So shout out to LS. I needed that.
You just gotta listen to the coach in our lineup, you know? He knows what he's talking about.
Roaming gank by the girlfriend.
You never take me out anymore, trying to join KT as, well...
Really? I don't know if that's the smartest career. I think Griffin's the place to be.
Yeah, I don't agree. As we're entering a different kind of lull state here. Griffin having their fun. They're about 6,000 gold ahead. And the Sweet Hat already done here.
Are we
as
going
They're
in?
going okay. They say, Alistair, we don't care. We love all types of meat. We'll be eating beef tonight, and, well, that was pretty easy for them.
They knew his ult was down, and then his health bar was down, so that's the only information that Griffin needed. We're getting the full zoom on everything today. I like how the sword is still through his heart, literally.
Yeah. It definitely feels like our observers
Oh,
are
look,
having fun.
Vladimir needs kills.
Trying to get on in there as BDD's clone does go down, but that's just about it. BDD just barely making it out of there with the skin of his teeth.
I don't have any analysis. They're just
Oh,
dunking
okay,
on
I guess
them.
we're done here.
They're just dunking on them, Valdez.
Alrighty then, well...
Well, you remember how the telecom war actually lived up to what it could be? Unfortunately, Game 1 here is the opposite of that, where it really isn't a LCK Summer rematch in hype levels.
Yeah.
KT were dunked at level 1 for macro, some micro moments have gone against them. The macro also was hurt, and now we're talking about girlfriends and support Annies breaking losing streaks.
Yeah. Well, Chovy zoned Zenit out of even getting close to that Infernal Drake if they were thinking about it. As BDD, I doubt he's running straight at them. I've got a good read on the visual bugs on the, I've been casting this patch for a while.
Caster, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, it is an Infernal Drake, so Casey's going to start it and say, well, let's fight.
TP coming in. As the flash comes in on the Tarzan, but he's got a TA. They're going to blow a lot to get on top of him. Will the turnaround come in here? Tarzan trying to flash away into the paranoia. They want to turn out the sword, but it's not enough. Viper getting into the back line, going to end that World Ender, and a huge Evil Plague comes down.
No one dead yet.
Yep, trying to get on in there as one goes down. Make it 2 as the double kill comes in for Viper. Make it 3 as everybody's on the run, chasing the cow down the lane. As well, not much else to shout about here. The Zerat portal is done.